Welcome to Smalltalk Daily for Tuesday, August 17th, 2010. This morning I'd like to do the canonical web application server example, and that is a blog server. We're going to build a very basic one. There's a lot that could be done with this, but I'm going to build the very basics, which is to list a set of posts and the ability to add comments to a specific post. So to get started, we need to build a new application, and we'll call this blog server 1.1 because I'm in WebVelocity 1.1. We'll accept schema because we want this to be database backed. And now we need to go to the configuration because I don't have a database set up. So I'm going to say Postgres. I'm going to put in my specifics here. You would need to put in your specifics here as well. So I'll put in what works for me. So the public schema, my username, and my password. And now we test the login. And if all is well, it should say configured. Now I need to go to the schema. Over here in the schema, I'm going to go to public, and I'm going to pick two things. The comments table, I want to map over to a class called comment and the appropriate user interface code. So I'm going to hit OK on that, and it's going to generate for me not just the domain model, but all those basic UIs. So now once it's generated the comment table, I need to go back into this and find the post table. So I'll find that, and I want to map over to the post class and all the ancillary UIs that that'll need. So I'll hit OK on that, and that's going to map all that stuff over for me as well. And that'll be most of the work I need to do. Now at this point I've basically finished. You notice that I've got my comments class and my post table mapped over, so I can go in and look at these. So I can go to post, and you can see that it's going to have picked up the foreign key relationship for me. I don't need to do anything for that. It's going to have done that for me. Now if I go to browse, you'll notice that things kind of work already. I've got my post table, and you'll notice that it notices the comments are attached, although I can't add new comments. I haven't written any code for that. But I can add new post objects already, so that more or less works. And the only thing I haven't done here is laid this out more or less like a blog. So let's go back and add a little bit of customization. What we want is the ability to go into the view UI and say, whenever I'm viewing a particular comment, a particular post, I want to be able to add a new comment. So how do I do that? Well, over here in rendering HTML, this is where I would customize. So it's telling me there's this thing called render details on, which you would probably customize if you want to change the way it's going to lay out. On the other hand, I want to customize the layout of the header where the buttons are. So I'm going to go ahead and I can just type right over this, more or less just like a Smalltalk browser. I'm going to put right over this, and I'm going to paste in the code so that you don't have to watch me type. And this is going to say render actions on, give me the buttons I already have, and then put in a new one called add comment. And notice the use of the callback is in the block there. And then I just need the backing code to add the comment itself. So again, I'm going to copy from a place off screen here, go down to actions, and open that up. I'm going to put in a new method here, and we'll call this add comment. And again, we use call here, so call the comment edit UI in this new comment object, make it persistent, add it to the list of comments, and commit it. And notice this use of if true. This is just like a dialog box in our GUI class. If the user accepts the comment, it gets added. If they don't accept it, nothing happens. Now at this point, if I go over here to browse posts.html, and you notice it's going to look exactly like it did a moment ago. But if I go in here, you'll notice I've got this new button called comment, and I can say another comment. This is good. And notice this just says this down here. It doesn't have anything custom there, but it's basically working. I can add that, and if I move this over, you can now see there are 3 comments there instead of 2. And then if I close this, it's going to go back to my list. Now, that more or less works, but it's not looking exactly like I like it to look. I'd like a couple of small customizations. For instance, this is not really looking like a blog. Notice that the second post is second and the first post is first. That's not what I want. So I want to change this so that I have the reverse chronological order you normally have in a blog. So let's go ahead and customize that a little bit. We'll go to the class post list UI. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the render details on method. And the render details on method is the one I mentioned a couple of moments ago. Notice that's the one it's offering to customize for me. So instead of doing it this way, I'm going to completely override it by taking the base code that it had and customizing the way it sorts things. So I'm going to have it sort in reverse chronological order. I'm going to put in this call here to summon the post view UI if somebody adds that. So I've customized the way this lays out, and I can go in here to browse now, go to posts, and notice that it lays out completely differently. Instead of that tabular oriented view that I had before, it has my title with a link, it has the content down here, the date up here, and everything's looking pretty cool. I don't have my comments listed here, but that's because I have to go into the individual posts to see those, and there's no comments there because this is the second one. But if I go to the first one, where all those comments were, you notice they're listed right there. So from here, there's a bunch of customizations you could add, and over the next couple of days I might add a few of those and show you how you can customize a couple of different things, but I think that's enough for now. So, till next time, have fun with Smalltalk.